Our next story is about a global best-selling author, an award-winning podcast host, a life coach, a modern-day wellness guru, a monk, a self-help king, if you will, and now an alleged liar and plagiarizer. I'm talking about Jay Shetty. Slim chance that you have not already heard of this man. He has 50 million followers across social media. His content has been viewed more than 43 billion times. He is the go-to life coach for Hollywood stars. And in the case of Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, a wedding officiator as well. The likes of Joe Biden, Michelle Obama have been on his podcast named On Purpose. And last year, he even attended the White House state dinner for the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. How exactly did Jay Shetty get here? How did he garner such fame, such an elaborate fan base around the world? Well, he started churning out inspirational videos back in the year 2016. But what was so different about them? He also shared nuggets of wisdom that seemed original and straight from the life guru's heart. But even that is up for debate now. So what is it about Jay Shetty that makes him stand out from others in his profession? It's his backstory. It's the fact that this entrepreneur was once a monk. Doesn't matter that he is the furthest thing from a monk today. Here's Jay Shetty's story. The year was 2007. Jay Shetty was merely 18 years old, a first-year student at the CASS Business School in London. And that's when one of his friends invited him to attend a lecture at school. An ISKCON monk named Gauranga Das was about to speak. Shetty did not want to attend the lecture. In fact, he wanted to go to a bar instead. And reluctantly, he sat through the session. And that very lecture ended up changing the trajectory of Shetty's life. So the life coach claims. He was so moved by the monk's words that he decided to become one himself. He followed Gauranga Das back to an ashram in India. He spent his summers and holidays there studying ancient Hindu texts. After graduating from the college, Shetty moved into the Indian ashram full-time in the year 2010. That is what he has claimed in multiple interviews. He gave up the so-called trappings of the material world. He lived the simple life of a monk for 3 years in solitude in a village near Mumbai. And after this, he had another revelation, that his purpose in life is not to live as a monk, but to share his wisdom with the world, given his talent and oratory skills. And thus began his transformation into a self-help personality. His riches to rags to riches again story is one of its kind. And if you take away this backstory, what would separate him from any other influencer? Not much. As it turns out, the story has loopholes, and a Guardian report by John McDermott has highlighted them. According to the report, Shetty has told conflicting versions of his story. His age, when he had this spiritual awakening, often varied in different speeches at different platforms. In fact, people close to Shetty themselves have questioned if his conversion to monkhood was really that dramatic. There are allegations that he was not in an Indian ashram as much as he was in London in his 3 years of monkhood, that he grew up in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, also known as ISKCON, meaning he had been associated with the spiritual organization before he even listened to Gauranga Das. Shetty says that he spent his time as a monk in meditation and religious study, but he also spent a lot of time making videos for social media and hosting lectures at universities in London. And then there are allegations of plagiarism. In the year 2019, a social media influencer, Nicole Arbour, claimed that Jay Shetty built his social media presence by plagiarizing, by lifting content from accounts with smaller followings and making them look original and fresh. And lastly, His current lifestyle is poles apart from his monkhood. He lives in LA, he mingles with Hollywood stars, he shares wisdom, but only if you pay up. The luxury he currently enjoys is far from a monk's modesty. Quite apathetic to his years away from material trappings of the world, isn't it? WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.